Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for inviting me for this session. The topic is very close to my heart. That is innovation for sustainability, healthcare India and South Asia. In fact, my book is coming on this somehow in the US in month of February. There, if it is health innovation, healthcare management. As Mr. Anil Swarup has said already, we all know what are the problems. And problems are right from Mudaliar Committee in 1950s, when he said 1 bed per 1,000 population. We are still 0.99 or whatever the estimates. He also told health for all and holistic approach. Then came health for all in 2000. We should achieve it. We never achieved it. We gone further. Then we were signatory that we will have the MDGs taken up, and MDG also somehow we have not reached up to that stage. We brought that there is a shortfall in rural health, so National Rural Health Mission came up. Then somebody said, what about the urban slum? And I was on a couple of committees where I was also giving my bit of things. Then say, okay, why not urban health mission? Somebody said, what is these two things? Convert it into National Health Mission. Everybody wanted to have new wine in the same bottle and put his seal that I have done it. Then came that WHO wants national health coverage. Fine, UPA government said national health coverage, very good, we must do it. Absolutely, necessity, agreed. I remember I was in one of the subcommittees where Planning Commission was under Montek Singh Ahluwalia, has very rightly said, what is the cost of this? At least I can support one district under the coverage for each state, and I request the state to do it on ground, as he says that action has to come on ground. We have been talking about it, and he says 26 states you have, 26 districts. Regional wise, we'll have wonderful, and Planning Commission will support it. Requirements are 3. What kind of infrastructure you need, or organization you need, what kind of a cost you need to do that, and since the state has done it in one district, they should be able to replicate. And what are the pitfalls and shortfalls, everything will come. But not a single state came up. We all talked, clapped, but not a single state came up. And every time you find some criminal activity or otherwise something happens, commission or committee. So health is not immune, otherwise also health also had something like that. So PHFI, Sridhar committee also came up, I was also part of it, etc., etc. Big volume, it's open document, you can access it, wonderfully written. They also talk of universal health coverage. I'll give you a very interesting story. It is a fact. One of my very close doctors, he is running an NGO and he is looking after totally Amity business of healthcare because he is very close to Gandhi family. He is a US citizen, but he is advisor to Rajiv Gandhi Trust, comes at the trust cost once in 3 months, enjoys here for a week, looks after that, whatever he is doing, and goes back. Anyway, he's a good friend of mine. He says, can you tell me something on a health? I said, why? He said, I have to include in UPA election agenda. Okay, as a friend, I can't refuse. I wrote a page, and hardly any full stop comma which would have been changed. And I saw this is come up. Good. There's a gentleman called Rajendra Gupta, some of you might be knowing, he's another good friend of mine. His thing came in Economic Times. He contacted so many people. He contacted me also. Can you also, he's not a doctor, but he was under, Joshi ji was writing manifesto BJP. I said, who's going to write? Yeah, nobody's going to do all this. It is not happening for 60 years. It is so. I gave the same page. What was for the UPA? That is the BJP thing came much later because when elections are on, And Rajendra also did little bit of change, it came just like that. And there was a furor in the press that BJP has copied UPA agenda. This is how agendas are made. Okay. Now, how much is really going out of it? Now, let's see the innovative method. Let's not digress on this, whatever we are talking. I'm not talking 70% is out of pocket allowance, and in the developed country it is not more than 25%. GDP already said 1.2%, and the WHO says 3.5 bed. We are nowhere, anywhere, etc. And you would find we come into category. When I was today itself was looking up the latest through the Google, we in the GDP we come in the category of Chad, Yemen, and Eritrea. One of those top-down, absolutely down countries where we are contributing to that. If you talk of South Asia, in the indicators are that we have got, India has got a IMR of 42 per thousand, Bangladesh and Nepal 33. They are doing much better than us. If you see MMR, Nepal is 170 per lakh and we are 178 per lakh. Economically, we are much better off, but in these indicators, we are not that. If you say immunization coverage, we have only 44% coverage, while Bangladesh 84 and Nepal 87%. Now, these are the things why it is happening, what we have really done. If you know that is today, Cuba has been declared as the best model of a healthcare for 2014. Even Secretary General WHO has invited that they must address this World Assembly, Health Assembly this time. Cuba with sort of sanctions, and I've got an article, those who want to take a reference and read it, etc. With all the sanctions from the US and everything, why? They devoted all their efforts to public health. When I was talking to somebody in Nirman Bhavan, he said, Cuba is a small country, we have 1.2 billion. I said, okay, what happened to China then? 3 years they took a vow and they have already covered under universal health coverage 95% of the country. Now, which one do you want to see? You say one is small country, etc. No, the governance patterns are different, etc. As Mr. Anil Sarup is saying, that we need to find out that how we can really implement different models which are existing. There are models which are, and there was a committee again by the Planning Commission which said, which is the best model which should be taken. We have studied the NHS model, which is totally state-based. It is one of those in UK. US model, which is insurance-based, 16% GDP they are spending on it, and GDP of that US, you know how much amount of money they have, and yet satisfaction rate is less. Money is not the only criteria. They said which are the 10 best quality care vis-a-vis cost. A survey was done and experts have brought out UK was the first and US was 7th in those 10. It is also reported into the press. Vis-a-vis cost. So cost may not be always an important factor. There are many factors. It is how you are really taking this cost, who is monitoring it, how much is the pilferage, etc. Because you find when you say cost, it is, you know the US system, for a simple headache people say, okay, it is insurance based, tomorrow I may be sued, so let me ask for one headache, MRI, this, that, etc. It doesn't go from your pocket, doesn't go from my pocket, it is, but it is what is called defensive medicine scenario. So we went into the concept that we should have some different thing, the best of everything. Paper was prepared, a lot of innovative methods, etc. was really thought of, and we said this is a kind of a system which can be adopted. Planning Commission approved it. He said let's put a pilot. As Mr. Anil Sarup says, there were some reasons or something that pilot was never took off because politically not acceptable, because not very happy, the corporate sector was not very happy with that, they thought probably it will hit them hard if it becomes success. And there was no reason why it should have not been success. Now let's come back to innovations for sustainable healthcare. No amount of pumping of money can help. You may say, there is one estimate, there is no proper estimate, that you require 26 billion US dollar for universal health coverage in India. But there is no proper study which has been done. It is some people's wild guess that it has been done. Now we have an advantage in the country that we have lots of model which innovations have been done by the private players, and these are Arvind Eye Hospital. I have been there myself. No waiting, 200 operations a day. It is supposed to be charitable hospital. There it is Harvard and Oxford studies reveal the results are as good or even better than what NHS UK has. The cost wise is much less, and it is and 200 operation and 1700 OPD a day. This innovation methods, because I will not go into the detail, you can read it, is one which has been talked about it. I have been advising Narayan Hridayalaya to cut down the cost. That was another model which has been suggested for this. There are hosts of other models which are innovative models which have been brought out by our younger generation or otherwise. There is a hospital, Life Spring Hospital, those who might have heard. It is a delivery charges are from 5,000 to 12,000 only, and that the results are as good otherwise. There are some urban slums I went and saw. It is in Swasth Clinic in Mumbai. Kashyap is the person, because I wanted to quote all this in my book, so I thought let me go and look up all that. There are many, many things which are there already. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You have to really see that, okay, public health, no corporate fellow is going to do it. Let's see that very, very clearly. And public health directly, indirectly will give you a lot of benefits, obviously. There's no doubt about it. Now you would say public-private partnership or whatever you may say, they're all interested in curative aspect. They're not interested in public health. So primary health care or a public health care, a lot of money has to really go from the government. Now, Pakistan, I was reading something, has created something good, which I also saw in Iraq immediately after the war when I went in Baghdad. Probably that is the kind of a model we can devise. They have done better in some of these places that it can be done. Now, what are the models which can think of for a primary health care, which is partly existing somewhere in other countries, and partly we should be able to do. What we really looking for is all of us talk 4A, awareness, accessibility, adaptability, affordability. Now there is, I was preparing some paper for somewhere else, so I thought I'll discuss out. Now if you really talk of innovation, the definition of a innovation, because everybody wants to use the word innovation, even property dealer says innovation, but they don't know what it is. Process of translating an idea into a good or service that create value for which customer is ready to pay and replicate it at economic cost. It is different than invention. The steam engine in 16th century came up, that was invention. But now steam engine converting into diesel engine, electric engine and a battery engine becomes an innovation, because bringing either the value or cutting down the cost, and you can replicate it. If you really go into this, then innovation can be in healthcare management itself, the governance, because what you require, input, process, output, this is the model many of us talk. You'll be surprised, it was Dr. Donovan, who was a public health expert. He's the one who brought this model. Wrote 16 book, 100 papers, first person to say what is the health quality definition, and we have forgot, he just died 3-4 years back. And nobody knows that this model was brought by him. Automobiles has followed, and they, because I am a lean expert, and they are teaching you back that there is something like this. When I tell them this is a health model which has came up, they get surprised. So you would find in a governance, there are empty of processes which are useless. I'm a lean expert. We have done cutting costs by improving the process in India, some 10 of them, but more so in abroad. When you see that there is a lot of waste and people say 50 to 60% waste can be reduced. Iris Hospital, Calcutta, we have prepared one by simple intervention. New hospital, 20% operational cost has been reduced, which is hell of a lot. So there are things which are available and it can be really done. You find in CSR itself, there are 4 billion US dollars would be available, 2% of the profit, whatever you have from the financial year. Now they are the one who are having in different fashions. I have done some project for Unilever on a health setup, how to increase their sales, whatever really required. This was published subsequently because I was not allowed to publish as I gave in writing. Mart has published it. Insurance is another innovative method. When Mr. Anil Saroop, because I also know him for quite some time, were planning, he had a difficulty to find out what is the below poverty line. In the news you find everybody is fighting what is the poverty line. Every committee had their own. And then the state government was not able to give the list so that it can be. Why can't we have insurance based on RSBY that I, who is ready to pay or who can pay, will pay certain amount of money, while below poverty line fellow just pays 30 rupees or whatever they are, but I might be paying something much more, etc. Can our government hospital innovatively compete? Why not? Why not? They should be able to take some health tourism, public-private partnership. There are, Punjab government is already saying, put CT scan, we share it up. And if you say, this is my cost, and we do market it accordingly. Jammu and Kashmir also tried in a very limited way, that MRI, I'll do it in so much of money, while you outside it is much costly. People will come if you say this. So why can't a government hospital, where possible, can be competitor and collect more money and qualitative care can be taken? And if so, my insurance coverage, whatever I pay, 300, 400, 1000, etc., if I am covered under RSAY, should be able to, that I should be able to go these empaneled hospital. A costing of the Medicare in a scientific terms has not been done. I was talking yesterday night itself to Dr. Lal and so many other people over a dinner. He says our costing is, Naresh Trahan in Medanta is taking 1 lakh. I am a newcomer, let me put it 90,000. This is the costing. Now what is really costing, what is the margin and how it has come, he said nobody want to break their head. There was a committee which has gone into in the evidence-based in the AIMS, but they are also going very, very slow. So you may bring the governance is one of the innovation factor, insurance another one. You can, as he said also, the monitoring is one which is really very, very important, impact and monitoring. There's no point just pushing the money like NRHM and people are not utilizing, and there was even murder in government of UP over that money, you know it. 2-3 people died, some has gone to jail, etc. Why can't we have a yardstick like WHO? Spend this much money, next installment will be given to you. Maybe some third party, if you think the government is not third party, can also go and see what is the impact which has been created, what was really decided. You would find the technology, people are sitting here, there's no doubt about it. The technology is the one, and there is a study that if you increase 10% of optic fiber, 1.3% of GDP increases. And with the digital India and whatever, etc., coming up, optic fiber being pushed up to the villages, probably better transparency can come up to right up to primary health care. So technology is a bigger thing. When I was researching on this, there are 97,000 medical apps available today in the world on a smartphone. 97,000, not 1 or 2. US is now worried, so they've scanned 15,000, how are really good. Now otherwise anybody can just put it that I'll tell how much kilometer you are walking, I can tell you what is the metabolism, I can tell you calorie of a radish is so much, this, that, etc., and that's a medical app. So they are re-looking at it, but ICT beyond any doubt, and now since it is much cheaper, that you should be able to do it. The another method is that you want to have a penetration into the primary health care, and we are talking of accessibility. You want to go, obviously. You created a 3-year course when IMA went to the court, etc., and then went into disarray. Iraq had done it. Pakistan is now doing it. In a different form, we can also do it. Good PSC or community health center. Okay, not up to PSC, community health center, which are generally from the district headquarters, maybe 18 to 20, 25 kilometers, not beyond that, 40, 30. Why can't a bus load can go early morning with the staff? They remain whole day there and come back in the evening to the district headquarters. So at least basic specialty cover is given. The hospital is well set and basic specialty cover is given. Of course, those is one of the possibility that can be explored. Pakistan has explored it and they found it in the very desolate area that is possible. So you don't have the problem. General Khanduri, when he was the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, he said, I was talking to him because I knew him from the army background. He said, what I decided, in army, when you go to in a bad area, you get a handsome allowance now. Those days when I was there, it was not much. So he said, in Uttarakhand, I said, if you go to these areas, your family will get, you can rent a house anywhere in Uttaranchal for your family. You go to these areas for 3 years, and you will get compensation to 50% what you of your basic extra to work there. He says, earlier I used to get a sifarish for people to stay in Haridwar or Dehradun. Now people are saying, just send me there. Money is one of the incentives for the younger lot. Why not? So there are models available, there are learning available, is only that action has to be taken, as Mr. Anil Sarup says, and we have to see that we are really, the innovation is one part. In a World Economic Forum, it was said that Indian innovations are so much, so they worded it as innovation. Some people, if you might have read a book, 3 Indian chaps, US citizens have written, called Jugaad, bestseller book. Those who have read it, it is something. So the Jugaad is something which is unscientific. Innovation is same thing taken into scientific, considering the safety and all other parts. In Punjab, when electricity came, so the diesel engine which was drawing a water became useless. So they said, what is the problem? Put the 4-wheel, one steering, and then it becomes a Jugaad. Just you can take a load, but there is no cover, safety is not there. If you put it that, then becomes my last thing, which I wanted to have 2 more points. Just for information of people, one of the 10 awards of Harvard which has given, one award has given to one lady who is Indian. What she did with another friend of his who is IIT chap, and this lady is doing is in Harvard management, etc. He says, when you banana stem, generally when one bunch of banana comes, you have to cut it. The new thing comes, then only the banana will come. So this becomes a useless. And this is called Project Sathi, you can see on a Google. So from banana stem, she took it, and with the help of his IIT fellow who had devised a small little machine, she is producing now sanitary towels for 2 rupees per sanitary towel. 2 rupees. And we have, this is now the second step, what they have done. They have given to village people this kind of machine. You do it, make little money, etc. She is one of the Harvard innovator of 2014. Out of the 10, she got it. And then the last one that I would like to say, we know most of the solution. It has to be converted into action, and it has to be that the government has to take a lead in some things. but just talking assurance will happen. And this government is more talking about, I went other day, regulatory authority for your e-health. They are making that draft now, how e-health regulations can, whatever can be done. And probably health assurance, they are only talking. Some 50 medicines will be given free of cost to the below poverty line. How they will reach, who will stock it. Tamil Nadu has got some system of supply. I've been there and Arumangam has done it. So there are methods which are available, and then probably those can be taken and see that how it will be done. My last quote is, I'll just read it out. Alexander Blas, CEO of Innovation Institute of America and winner of Top Innovator for the Year award, says it is no secret that many of the world's top innovators come from India. Within the past few decades, India has embarked upon an incredible transformation from agrarian-based society to knowledge-based economy. Along with the population growth came survival instinct, that is frugal innovation, what you call it, and the need to be different, better and unique. One can see innovation everywhere in India, whether in large, game-changing innovation that garner a lot of publicity, or in less obvious yet important incremental fashion. This is what Americans think. And you must be surprised why my book is coming in the US. When I said healthcare management innovation to cut the cost, improve quality, that was the theme of the book. US publisher said that's what is required. US people are looking for it. You are not publishing in India, you are publishing it here. That is how it is. He said, I want it in India. I say, after 1 year, we'll give them paper back. So first it will be here. I said, okay, no problem. Well, in India, people wanted, okay, give money for, then we'll publish it, and then we'll give you return, etc., blah, blah, blah. Anyway, thank you very much. These are few ideas. I thought that we are already innovators. Action on ground is required. And somewhere South Asia is better. We being such a big country, let's take a lead. And there's no dearth of talent, as Anil Sarupe says. It is how to implement it. There are hundreds of studies which are lying there. Thank you very much.